The rise of the Mongol Empire under Genghis Khan is one of the most extraordinary stories in human history. In just a few decades, a collection of scattered nomadic tribes from the harsh steppes of Central Asia transformed into the largest contiguous land empire the world has ever known. Born around 1162, Genghis Khan was originally named Temüjin. He entered a world of constant tribal warfare on the vast Mongolian steppe. His father, Yesugei, was a tribal chief, but when Temüjin was only 9 years old, his father was poisoned by rivals. Abandoned by their own clan, Temüjin's family was left to survive alone in the unforgiving wilderness. Hunger, hardship, and betrayal defined his early years. As a young man, Temüjin faced numerous challenges. He was captured by an enemy tribe and forced into slavery, but he managed to escape. He gradually gathered loyal followers, many of whom were drawn not by noble birth, but by his charisma, military talent, and willingness to reward loyalty rather than family ties. This approach was revolutionary among the Mongol tribes, where power traditionally depended on aristocratic lineage. Throughout the late 12th century, Temüjin fought a series of brutal wars against rival tribes, including the Tatars, Naimans, Merkids, and Karaites. Through diplomacy, strategic alliances, and military conquest, he steadily expanded his influence. He often incorporated defeated enemies into his own forces instead of exterminating them, greatly increasing his manpower. In 1206, after defeating his major rivals, a great assembly known as a Kurultai proclaimed Temüjin as Genghis Khan, usually interpreted as universal ruler or oceanic ruler. This marked the official birth of the Mongol Empire. Once he had unified the Mongol tribes, Genghis Khan turned outward. His first major campaigns targeted the neighboring Western Xia Campaign's kingdom in northwestern China. The Mongols successfully forced Western Xia into submission, demonstrating their growing military power. Genghis Khan then launched an invasion against the powerful Mongol conquest of the Jin dynasty in northern China. The Jin possessed fortified cities and large armies, but the Mongols adapted quickly. Traditionally expert horse archers, they learned siege warfare from captured engineers and allied specialists. In 1215, Mongol forces captured Zhongdu, present-day Beijing, inflicting enormous destruction. The Mongol military was unlike any force the world had seen. Every male warrior was an expert horseman from childhood. Mongol armies moved with astonishing speed, sometimes covering more than 100 kilometers in a single day. Discipline was strict, and units were organized according to a decimal system. Groups of 10, 100, or 1,000 and 10,000 men. Communication across vast distances was maintained through an efficient relay network. Perhaps the most famous Mongol campaign began in 1219 when Genghis Khan invaded the Mongol invasion of the Khwarezmian Empire. The conflict began after the ruler of the Khwarezmian Empire ordered the execution of Mongol merchants and diplomats. Viewing this as a grave insult, Genghis Khan assembled an enormous army and marched west. The campaign devastated Central Asia. Major cities such as Bukhara, Samarkand, and Urgench fell to the Mongols. Contemporary chroniclers described immense destruction and loss of life, although many medieval casualty figures were likely exaggerated. Nevertheless, the invasion permanently altered the political landscape of Central Asia. Genghis Khan was both feared and admired. Cities that surrendered peacefully were often spared and integrated into the empire. Those that resisted frequently faced severe punishment, intended to discourage future resistance. Terror became an important psychological weapon in Mongol warfare. Despite their reputation for destruction, the Mongols also brought significant changes to Eurasia. They promoted trade across the Silk Road, protected merchants, and encouraged the exchange of goods, ideas, technologies, and cultures between East and West. Religious tolerance was generally practiced, allowing Buddhists, Muslims, Christians, and others to worship freely within the empire. Genghis Khan established a legal code known as the Yasa, although much of its exact content remains uncertain. He promoted officials based on merit and loyalty rather than noble status. Skilled administrators, scholars, engineers, and artisans from conquered lands were often recruited into imperial service. In 1227, while campaigning once again against the Western Shia, Genghis Khan died under circumstances that remain unclear. Some accounts suggest he died from injuries sustained in a fall from a horse, while others propose illness. His burial site remains one of history's greatest mysteries. At the time of his death, the Mongol Empire stretched from the Pacific Ocean deep into Central Asia. His sons and grandsons continued expanding the empire, eventually conquering vast territories across China, the Middle East, Eastern Europe, and beyond. The legacy of Genghis Khan remains complex. He was a conqueror responsible for immense destruction and suffering, yet he also created a vast empire that reshaped trade, communication, and cultural exchange across Eurasia. Few individuals in history have altered the course of the world as profoundly as Genghis Khan and the empire he forged on the windswept steppes of Mongolia.